talk the best metal albums of 2000. First up, we had Devin Townsend. If you know Strapping Young Lad, he's very technical, he's very speed, he's very technical. It's a fun album to listen to. It's super heavy. It's kind of like this concept album of like this mad scientist creating like the most chaotic metal album. Next up, we have one of the legends of rock metal, Alice Cooper, Brutal Planet. I think Alice Cooper went into a new direction. Recommend people, I would say, check out maybe Poison or Constrictor. This is a real new way for Alice Cooper, and his best phase was the 70s with Woke Into My Nightmare and $1 Billion Babies. When we get to the 80s, he becomes more grungy, and when we get to the 90s, he's kind of trying out this kind of Marilyn Manson thing. I really think he hits his stride. He's got a song on here that's really kind of, the lyrics are, it's a wicked young man. He says, I got a pocket full of bullets and a blueprint of the school. I read Mein Kampf daily. So that's a really... Alright, at number 8, we have Hammerfall, Renegade, Swedish power metal group, their third album. I think this album rips. It's a really awesome, just power fantasy, dungeon siege, medieval, evil, like very like fantasy power metal. It really like it's got a lot of cool riffs and it's very fun to listen to. It's very fast, it's very energetic, everything you would expect from a power metal album. Like, it's like boom, 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 like Hammerfall, boom, Renegade, check it out. Number 7, Soilwork. And Soilwork, the thing that Soilwork is they just feel like these mercenaries of like metal. And they're just shredding, like fast, speed, deafened speed metal. Lead singer just sounds like this cyborg, like psychopath, just screaming into a microphone. The Chain Heart Machine, the title track, it's one of the best songs on there. The album itself starts to like after the first 10 songs, you're like, all right, and then we get some filler. But the first 5 tracks are ludicrous. Next up, I wanted to have like deep cuts on this album where like, all right, I never heard of this album. So Disturbed, Down with the Sickness at number 6, not exactly a deep cut, but if you take away some of the radio hits, listen to like the lesser popular songs like Voices and Shout, the Tears for Fears cover, The Game. It's a good album. I think a lot of people just think of the radio hits when they think of this first album by Disturbed. It's a good album. Next up, we have Killswitch Engage, their debut album. This is this is their first singer, and they got him back now. So this is still Killswitch. This is like the rawest form of Killswitch you're gonna get, and I think this album really feels before its time, because after this debut by Killswitch, we got a lot of this metalcore stuff. So it kind of like, I'm not saying the Killswitch were the originators of this type of metalcore, but it's like, it was sort of like it's coming. Metalcore is coming, and this, you feel like it's a badass album. The debut by Killswitch at number 5. So we have Helloween, Dark Ride. Helloween's been rocking since 1984. I mean, they've been going toe-to-toe with, like, they're like the German Iron Maiden. Like, they are up there with Iron Maiden as far as, like, that type of metal and that type of power metal and that type of, like, old school, like, heavy metal. So Dark Ride is definitely like an awesome album, and the fact they've been rocking since the early 80s and they come out with this awesome album, you have like the All Over the Nations and Mr. Torture. Just some really rocking tunes on this one. So definitely check out Helloween Dark Ride. I plan on just like reviewing all Helloween stuff. Like they're really awesome. Like I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan, and I'm gonna like check out all Helloween stuff too. You have Within Temptation, Mother Earth. Now, the singer Sharon Von Adele, she has such a beautiful voice, and the fact that she carries this metal band like with this like symphonic metal, like with the female like vocals, it just works so well. And I just like the song Ice Queen. I've listened to it over and over. It's such a great. I think Ice Queen is my favorite song on this whole list. It's not my favorite album, but it's my favorite song, and that's why it's number 3. Because it's like this Celtic metal. It's like Tarja Turunen is a lot better. Not a lot better, but she has a better operatic voice than Sharon Von Adele from Within Temptation. But Tarja Turunen from Nightwish is just like, she just has stronger vocals, and she's very she could be on stage. She does this song Phantom of the Opera, very very strong stage presence. But the fact she has a band Nightwish, and with this album Wishmaster, it's a beautiful album. It's a beautiful metal album, operatic metal album. It's very dreamish. It's at my number 2. It's a strong album by Nightwish. I do think their later stuff is a little bit better, but Nightwish is Nightwish, and this is a great album. Before we get to my number 1, I'm going to do some honorable mentions. I split them up into honorable mentions power metal, honorable mentions death metal. And at our honorable mentions power metal, we had Advance, Heart of Steel. Now, this has a really good cover of SOS from ABBA, Advance in the last album. Advance, No Escape, that's a good album too. They do an ABBA cover of Money, Money, Money. Just a very good, awesome vocals. Almost puts you in mind of like Trans-Siberian Music, Rhapsody, Sword of Victory, I believe. Yeah. So like I was going on how much I like Ugo Torelli, he's part of Rhapsody. This album, another fun fantasy album where it's got this concept of like going on a quest to get a sword. It's like newly discovered band that I found searching 2000 is Heavenly, Coming from the Sky. This album just rocks. There's just something. There's nothing like devilly about it. It's just very just like it's not Christian, and it's not like like it's not church metal, but it just feels like really good. All right, here's my death metal picks. In Flames, Clayman, very awesome metal album. I feel like Colony, which I forgot to mention in the last album, was good, was better, but Hypocrisy, Into the Abyss is pretty awesome. I love the vocals. It's just like really just like it's like this is, and the riffs are awesome. It's a good death metal album. I just think the singer has a unique sound, and yeah, Hypocrisy, Into the Abyss. And last 1999, I had like a really like kind of like I was looking for like the really just nastiest album, like Vomitory. We have Decapitated, Winds of Creation, brutal album, just brutal. Just listen to it, just like it just sounds like it's a brutal album. It's dark, it's scary. And coming at number 1, we have Iron Maiden, Brave New World. And listen, I'm the biggest Iron Maiden fan. All right, not the biggest, but I am a huge Iron Maiden fan, and I think this album is up there with Fear the Dark and Power Slave and Somewhere in Time. This is a top tier Iron Maiden album, and we have songs that like go toe to toe, that are like reminiscent of like horror movies. You have The Wicker Man, which is like a British classic. You have Ghost of the Navigator, which is Ocean, Ghost. We have Brave New World, which was based on the book, which is based on like, the warnings of the technology, and then you have like Blood Brothers, which is like this Iron Maiden vampire song. I love that song. Blood Brothers, and do 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 do. It's a good song, which is like kind of reminiscent of like like Power Slave with the Egyptian themes, and Out of Silent Planet, which is like a science, based on like the Forbidden Planet movie. So a lot of like horror movie elements to the Brave New World, and like it's the number one album because it was the big comeback for Iron Maiden, and they were kind of teetering off in the 90s, and like, all right, but they really like, ooh, Iron Maiden 2000, and they're still rocking it, they're still touring, they're still one of the, I like them better than Metallica. Hey, I think Iron Maiden, Metallica has better albums. Their early stuff beats down a lot of Iron Maiden, but as far as irons go, for the irons, Iron Maiden all the way, baby. All right, guys. I'll see you in 2000.